They got a video on here.
This is an exclusive sports presentation of Graddick Communications.
The Inoventive Benefits Consulting Tailgate Show is on the air. Brought to you by Inoventive Benefits Consulting, the fuel that powers Georgia's employer health benefits.
Also brought to you in part by
Deep South Roofing, Amy Brown, State Farm Insurance, Brown's Pools and Spas, Evergreen Tree Service, John Thornton Buick GMC, Rainwater Funeral Home, Bird Disposal, and Addison Smith Heating, Cooling and Plumbing.
Now, let's set the table for tonight's action.
As we take you live to Roy Richards Memorial Stadium on the campus of Central High School.
Here's your host of the Tailgate Show,
Jay Webb.
Good afternoon, West Georgia. It is week 2 of the Georgia High School Playoffs, Sweet 16. Here we are from Roy Richards Memorial Stadium, Ronnie Birchfield Field. And, man, we are ready to rock and roll for an incredible night of football. 6 teams locally that are still in this thing. I want to talk about that just in a little bit. But just so you know what the schedule is tonight, let's get a quick rundown. We're going to have the Harrison Hoyas traveling over to the Carrollton Trojans tonight. That's going to be on KISS 102.7 with the Cade Perry and Coach Larry Evans. Washington Wilkes are going to be at Bowden tonight. That's going to be on B92 Country with Britton Dock. Right here at Central, you've got the Cambridge Bears against the Central Lions, and that's on Great Classics 98.9, hosted by Seth Kane and Michael Miller. And then down just a little south of us, Social Circle, who had to travel to Harrelson last week. They come right back up this way to West Georgia, and they are going to be facing the Heard County Braves, and that can be heard on King Country 93.7 with Tex and Hayden Coker. We also have 2 teams on the road tonight. That's the Mountain Zion Eagles traveling down to Early County, and the Villa Rica Wildcats traveling to Thomas Central. Coach, I want to talk about this real fast. This is some useless knowledge, but I was looking at this on the GHSA or Georgia High School Football Daily, and in Georgia there are 159 counties. All right. Carroll County has 5 teams in the second round of the playoffs next week, only behind Fulton, who has 16 of 19 schools. Right.
DeKalb has 7 of 26 schools.
Right.
Gwinnett has 7 of 28. Cobb 6 of 17. And then here's little old bitty Carroll County with 5 high schools of 6. still in the playoffs in the second round. That's pretty impressive.
Hey, we know how to play ball down here, baby.
Hey, let's play some football.
Bottom line is it's important to these communities. We've got great coaches in this area. We've got a lot of outstanding athletes. We've got good feeder programs. Our administrations from the school systems, from the top to the bottom, have supported these programs. We've got deep coaching staffs and people that care. I mean, it's important. Friday night's important, and it's important for the right reason because, you know, we're trying to do everything we can to try to improve our schools and improve our school spirit, and it creates an atmosphere of winning and doing the right thing. And when you got having success on the field, a lot of times that carries over to the classroom. A lot of times that carries over to behavior, just like it does all your extracurricular activities. So that's the one thing I've always said for years. A lot of people get it kind of, to me, they get it mixed up. Athletics can enhance academics.
That's right.
And the arts, the fine arts can enhance academics. It's not three separate things. It all goes together.
That's right.
And if you got everybody pulling together in the same direction, you can do some great things. We got a lot of good things going on down in this part of the world.
Yeah, man, it's exciting. So we have 5 of 6 high schools in this county that are, and that includes Carrollton Trojans, obviously, and then we can't forget about down south just a little bit. 1 of 1 with Heard County.
That's right.
In the Sweet 16, and that's a place they're used to being. So you're listening to the Inoventive Benefits Consulting Tailgate Show under the Deep South Roofing broadcast tent. Is Jay Webb, is Coach David Thrower, is Swole Joel on the whatever he's doing over there, Facebook, YouTube. Check us out online if you're not listening to us on the radio.
Wolfpack Nation.
Wolfpack Nation over there.
He's
He's got us under a tent. A big thing tonight could be the weather. You know, that who knows how that plays an impact. You know, if I'm looking at the game right behind me, and we'll break this down just a little bit more, but Cambridge is bringing in a pretty doggone good receiver, and let's see if this weather, you know, plays an impact on him, where Central's got more the ground and pound game that they can go to if they need to, if weather turns into a big thing tonight. So we're going to look at all of that. I think another interesting thing tonight, just keeping this locally without breaking down the games too much, at the start of the year, the AJC does a Super 11. And that's pretty much your top 11 athletes in the state of Georgia, football players, I should say, seniors. And there's 7 left in the Sweet 16 right here in the GHSA playoffs. 3 of them are playing right here in Carroll County tonight. That's right. Pretty impressive.
That is. That really, really is.
Yeah.
You stop and think about that, that may be even more remarkable.
Yeah.
It really is. That's pretty
you got Caden Prothrow, who's playing over at Bowden tonight. He's a Super 11. Right here on this field, you're going to have 2 Super 11 guys going at it with Jonas Walton, who we know what he is. We know how dangerous he is. We know what an incredible kid he is. But on the other side of the field, right here behind us on Ronnie Birchfield Field, going to be a young man named Craig Dandridge, who plays for the Cambridge High School, and he is a wide receiver who's committed to Georgia. So pretty special night here in West Georgia with the amount of teams that we have, the amount of talent that we have, and I'm excited to get into this and break it down. You're listening to the Inoventive Benefits Consulting Tailgate Show under the Deep South Roofing broadcast tent. Inoventive Benefits Consulting, brought to you by Inoventive Benefits Consulting in Bremen and Carrollton, the benefit consultants beyond the status quo. Also brought to you by Deep South Roofing, Addison Smith Mechanical Contractors, Amy Brown State Farm, Brown's Pools and Spas, John Thornton Cadillac Buick GMC, Pert Disposal Services, Rainwater Funeral Homes, and Evergreen Tree Service. Before we go to a first break, Coach, tell me what you're most looking forward to tonight. Is there a certain game, a certain matchup? Tell me what you're thinking.
I'm thinking tonight's game that right here where we're at, we're Central in Cambridge.
Okay.
The biggest thing to me is these 2 teams met last year in the second round, and Cambridge kind of had their way with Central. And Central is maybe looked upon as a favorite now. They're region champion. Cambridge was a 2 seed, but Cambridge region is strong. All 4 of those teams advanced last week in the first round. So we know they're not just a normal 2 seed. They're a good football team. And like you said, they've already got a Super 11 guy who's got offers all over creation. So I think tonight's game, even though it's game 12, it has the feel of a game 13, game 14 type game. So I really feel like the game out here tonight has got a chance to be our most closely competitive game, evenly matched between 2 teams going into it. Central, 10-0 regular season. got off to a little bit of a slow start last week. Again, playing a team that's a lower seed but from a tough region and a very athletic team. Probably maybe a little bit of a wake-up call for Central, and that's probably a good thing. I'm sure Coach Brown has used that all week, that, hey, we got to be prepared to play 48 minutes. We just can't play a half or three quarters. We got to be ready when we tee it up at 7:30. So I really think this game out here tonight on this field out here behind us is going to be more or less the game of the week in our area this week.
Okay, I love it. And a big story here tonight. If you're a Central Lion, and I will get into this, but coin flips have already happened, so everybody kind of knows what their scenario is if they win or lose tonight. Obviously, if you lose, you go home, but win, if you got to host or be on the road. Central right here for this group of seniors who have won 40 football games, which is very, very impressive. This group of seniors right here, this will be their last game on this field tonight. And I know they'll be feeling that because they lost the coin flip, and so they'll be on the road next week when they get this W tonight. And so that'll be a special moment for a lot of these kids that have poured their heart and soul. And I would tell you, this senior class is probably the ones that, man, has really, in my opinion, created a program here around Lion Valley.
They've definitely taken it to another level. And I feel like this thing – really and truly, and Coach Brown has done an unbelievable job the last 3 years. Coach Smiley had been here for a number of years, and he chewed a lot of dirt early on. He was in a tough spot. They were in a brutal region. They didn't quite have the athletes. They built the program up through his last year. I think they were 8-4, got into the playoffs. He had a couple of 6-5 type years before that, but he kind of got the thing back to where it was a competitive spot, and then Coach Brown has gotten it and taken it to another level. So that's the thing about it. You look at the amount of Central's success the last 3 or 4 years, you don't do that just in 1 year. Like, you don't win a state championship in just 1 year. That is something that's built. Look at Coach Finley at Bowden. He went out in the second round 3 years in a row before they finally broke through. Well, they broke through and won a state championship in 2022, and have won 2 more since then. So you get to that point by building your program over a period of time. It's not like you just walk into a championship team and you inherited that and boom, we're ready to go. It takes time to build that culture. It takes time to really get that coaching staff to jail. It's time to get all your players to really kind of buy into each other and kind of learn to play not just for themselves but for each other. So it takes time to build these things. Central they've gone through the steps. They chewed some dirt 6, 7, 8 years ago. They've gotten to the point they were very competitive. Now they've gotten to the point they're one of the top programs in the state in 4A, and nothing but excited to see where it's going to go from here because they've really, really done a great job.
Mm-hmm. And they're going to, again, man, it's going to be a special night here at this field in Lion Valley. I know they're excited about it. They're looking to, if you're looking for them, we're watching closely here the Cass and Benedictine game for them, and we'll keep everybody posted on that. But, man, it's going to be a fun night. We're going to have the Red Zone show after this tonight, after all the games, so make sure you tune in for that, for some playoff bracketology as this thing starts to narrow down even more at the end of the night. Hopefully at the end of this thing we've got all the games completed. I was looking at the radar earlier. I think we're going to be safe here, but some of the schools, kind of Cedartown and North, looks like they have a potential of having some weather, pretty bad weather coming through. So we're going to see if that plays a role tonight and if we actually know everything by the time the tailgate or Red Zone show rolls around. But hey, you're listening to the Inoventive Benefits Consulting Tailgate Show under the Deep South Roofing broadcast tent. We're going to continue this thing. We're going to take a break, and when we get back, we're going to start the Carrollton City Schools regional breakdown. At Carrollton City Schools, we expect excellence in every person, in every program, in every performance. We go for gold. We'll see you here in just a few.
Employee benefits shouldn't crush your bottom line. That's why it helps to have a local partner who really knows our community and your business. At Inoventive Benefits Consulting, we help local companies save on their healthcare spend. Marcy Heath, your neighbor and local benefits consultant, will make sure your employee benefits work for you, not against you.
Okay, you got me?
Call 678-821.
All right.
Rethink employee healthcare.
Yeah, 'cause I feel like
Signs on every corner. These companies have sold their souls to the big private equity companies and are not here to help you with your roof. They just want your money. Stay local with West Georgia and East Alabama's most trusted roofing company, Deep South Roofing Company. Whether your job is commercial or residential, put your faith in a company that invests in your local community. For more, visit DeepSouthRoofingCompany.com.
When you make the right decision, it feels good. Like picking the perfect accent rug or choosing a good night's sleep over an all-night crime show binge. It feels really good to make the right insurance decision, too. That's why State Farm agent Amy Brown in Villa Rica is here to help you choose the right protection at the right price. Amy will make sure you understand your State Farm coverages, so you'll know what to expect if the unexpected happens. With State Farm agent Amy Brown, it's easy to make the right choice. Just call 678-840-5000.
Feast your eyes on the season's most aggressive offers during the Feast of Savings at John Thornton Buick GMC. Double up a new GMC Sierra 2500 HD Denali with $12,000 off MSRP, or a new Buick Envision, $6,000 off MSRP. Take $4,000 off MSRP on the new Buick Envista, or a new GMC Yukon XL with $8,000 off MSRP at John Thornton Buick GMC in Charleston. GMC, we are professional grade. Let's get back to the Inoventive Benefits Consulting Tailgate Show.
All right, welcome back to the Inoventive Benefits Consulting Tailgate Show under the Deep South Roofing broadcast tent. Brought to you by Deep South Roofing. Don't be taken advantage of by these out-of-town roofers. Trust the only hometown roofing company from inspection, repairs, replacements, and insurance claims, serving our local community in West Georgia and East Alabama. Deep South Roofing, dedicated, dependable, and a proud sponsor of high school sports. We're back. It's time to start breaking down the Carrollton City Schools regional breakdown. Carrollton City Schools, where we are the standard for achievement, innovation, service, and success. Want to see why? Schedule a tour today. We're going to start first with our two non-broadcast games, Coach. That is Mountain Zion at Early County. And then we're going to go to Villa Rica at Thomas County Central. So let's start with Mountain Zion. What we're looking at here, you got a Mountain Zion that's sitting at 8-3. You got Early County that's sitting at 8-3. Mountain Zion's the number 2 seed from Region 7. Early County is the number 1 seed from Region 1. Mountain Zion is not currently ranked. And Early County's ranked number 8. So Mountain Zion's got a little bit of a battle on their hands. Last week, I should say, they took care of business. Beat Trutland 20-7. That was a game that was, going into that was a toss-up. Literally, the Maxwell projection said toss-up, but Mountain Zion came in, handled business. That thing was not, ever really close. Knox Israel rushed for 74 yards and all 3 of Mountain Zion's touchdowns, and he passed for 85 yards. Right, so they had a great week last night. Have to be feeling good coming off of that win. If you look at Early County last week, they beat Greene County, a little more of a blowout, 43-6. They rushed for 424 yards last week. One guy, Devonis Lee, rushed for 270 and 4 touchdowns on 10 carries, Coach. That's a pretty good average right there.
27 a clip. That ain't bad.
That's
I think I'd still be calling plays if I had that guy.
Amen to that. So they're looking good there. This is the team's first meeting. Never played each other before. Mountain Zion's first second-round appearance since 2018. Trying to reach the quarterfinals, obviously, for the first time since then. Mountain Zion's 4-6 all-time in the round of 16. So this is good. They hadn't been there in a minute, and they're back.
That's right. And, Mount Zion is a 3-5 team and a wing T team in the gun. So they've run some spread concepts, but they still have a lot of their wing T principles. Early County's a 3-5 team. They're a wing T team under center, which Mount Zion was for years. So the styles of these two teams and the way they're built are very similar. Now, Early, I talked to some of the Mount Zion coaches this week. Early is your typical South Georgia team. Going to have a lot of speed. Offensively, they do a good job of combining the option game with their under center wing T game. So they've got 3 backs that are dangerous. There's no question about that. They got a good quarterback, pretty good line of scrimmage. Defensively, their linebackers are their key. So I think if Mount Zion can go down there and get off to a good start, that has been their Achilles heel on the road, really going back for the last several years, is when they go on the road, especially on these longer road trips, is they've just been a traditionally slow starting team. For whatever reason, I think the coaching staff has about all pulled their hair out trying to figure it out, because they've broken up different routines and done different things, but they just not have handled the road trips as well. So the key for them tonight is how well they're going to handle the road, how well they're going to come out there and play those first couple series. Don't fall behind. If you're still in the game, I think you got a shot. They don't mind their matchup. Mount Zion doesn't. They know Early's a good team, but Mount Zion's, they've played some pretty good teams during the course of this season, and obviously in the past in the playoffs. So, early is what you expect a team to be in the second round of the state playoffs. Early County has traditionally been a double-A school for years, and they were always in that region. Now, they were a powerhouse in the 80s and 90s. Matter of fact, they played Carrollton for the state championship in 1998, and that's who Carrollton beat, the Reggie Brown years of Carrollton. And Early County was a double-A school then. Carrollton was a double-A school back then. But Early's always been a small double-A. So since the mid-2000s, they've kind of been in that region with Fitzgerald, Brooks County, Thomasville, Cook. So they've kind of always been fighting for fourth. Good teams. They just hadn't been able to make a lot of noise in the playoffs. The last 4 years, when they finally dropped down to single A, they've won the region 4 years in a row. They've been to the quarterfinals twice. They're now in the second round for the second time with a chance to advance. So Early's a good program. I say that to say they're a good program. They take football serious down there. Small rural county down there, southwest corner of the state, not far from Alabama, not far from Florida. They're right there, almost in Dothan.
That's right.
Like Dothan's only about 30 minutes away. I think a lot of their people actually live in Dothan. So, it's going to be a neat little atmosphere to go down to Early. And I think they got a pretty good little facility, old school, but it's a good facility. I just think the key to this game is how well Mount Zion handles the trip. If they can handle that trip, go down there as a mature football team and handle this trip, I think they're going to have a shot. That's and right. The longer they can stay in the game, the better chance they're going to have, because Early is the favorite. I mean, there's no question about it. They're going to expect to win. So Early's at home. They're the favorite. But if Mount Zion can come in there, make a few plays early, jump out, do something, do some real positive things, kind of compete, and make sure and let Early know you're going to have a game to play for 48 minutes. Puts a little more pressure on Early now.
And you've mentioned it a couple times. It's a road trip, just in case you need to know. A straight line shot, 182 miles from Mount Zion to Early County. So it's a pretty significant trip down. I'm sure they left early this morning, if not yesterday.
They left at about 12 today.
Okay, so they got down there.
They were going to do a walkthrough down in Cuthbert.
All right, there you go. So they are on the road for sure. Early County, you mentioned this. They've got a program down there. They're fourth straight second round appearance for them. So they know kind of how to feel. They made it to the quarterfinals in 2023, and they're sitting 10-4 all time in the round of 16. So Early knows how to win. Again, you said it, South Georgia program, a powerhouse at times. But when I look at the schedules, they're pretty evenly matched. Mount Zion's average score 29-14 against the 31st hardest schedule in Class A Division II, and Early County's average score 32-17 against the 28th hardest schedule in Class A Division II. So when you look at that, they've played similar schedules. They've put up similar numbers. And so I think you said it, man. This is one of those where Mount Zion, they're not making a road trip right here feeling like we don't have a chance.
No.
They are on the road, and I know that they, as you said, if they get off to a quick start, they've played Bowden. They know what it looks like to play big teams.
Scrimmage Bremen.
They scrimmage Bremen.
Scrimmage Pepperell.
That's right. So they have been in these games, and I think Mount Zion's on the road with a pretty good mindset. You said if maybe one more key to the game defensively, who's really got to step up for them and lead the way defensively tonight?
Well, I think their linebacker play has to be, and their linebacker play's been solid all year. But they've got to really play well on that second level of the defense. They rotate a lot of defensive linemen, Mount Zion does. They've had a little more depth this year than they've had in the past. So they're going to rotate kids to try to keep some guys fresh, because a lot of those guys are playing obviously both ways. But their linebacker play, those kids in there that have played in that spot all year, and they've got 2 or 3 good ones that's done a good job. Some young kids. They're going to have a lot of these kids coming back. That's kind of the key for them on the inside backers and outside, because the way Brad plays that 3-5, I mean, you got 3 stack backers, and then you got your 2. He calls them Spurs. I always call them Rovers. But anyhow, that's those 5 guys together to play containment and still playing the ISO and the trap and the option stuff. The stuff they do with the veer in the midline. Our Early County's coach, Coach Killingsworth's a great guy. We went down to Clinch and played. I guess it was 2017. He was standing on our sideline about the 15-yard line. He was trying to help us score down there at the end of the game. Good dude. His defense coordinator was a friend of mine, and they were down there down on that end. They were trying to get us in the goal line there because they didn't like Clinch, So, but anyhow, he's a good guy, one of those old school South Georgia coaches, and also it'll be a good matchup, be a good ball game. It's round of 16. It should be.
That's right, and I would assume one of those 5 you're talking about is none other than Knox Israel.
Knox,
and he's a guy that we've talked about all year. He's just a guy that you want as the general on the field. Reminds me so much, and I've said this before, but a young man named Brooks Hardy who has a special place in my heart, passed away a couple years ago. Brooks was at Bremen several years back and was that guy, starting quarterback and starting linebacker.
Clay
That's right, Clay Hyde type guy.
But, Knox is a bell cow, no question. He's the leader of the pack. Jay Nackey needs to play well. Damian Sanders, that whole group right there of those inside and outside guys. Brody Heinzman. They've got a good group of guys out there in those spots. They're young players that are athletic. But like I said, Knox is kind of the bell cow. He's the leader. They kind of go as he goes. And one thing about Knox, he's the kind of kid similar to some of the other really good quarterbacks I've been around. If things are not going good in the huddle, he keeps it together.
Yep, that's right.
He manages that. So it's not like he's going to let things just discombobulate and fall apart.
That's right.
If you get the guy in the huddle, the quarterback, and he's going to let it go astray, and he loses his composure, then everybody loses it. And he's not that kind of kid. He can hold it together. A lot of maturity for him for a 11th grader. Just a lot of maturity.
We are, I think I can speak, I know I can speak for the Graddick sports family and really all of West Georgia, Carroll County schools. Everybody's yelling, go Eagles tonight. Should be a great game. Looking forward to hearing some updates on that. Just in case you want to know or need to know, we don't care about it, but Maxwell Ratings has got Early County by 13. Not so much a toss-up this week as they gave Mountain Zion last week, but as you said, I don't think Mountain Zion's looked at that too much. I think they feel good about what they've got, and they feel good about their chances. So, go Eagles, go Brad Gordon, and hopefully we'll be talking about a win. Now they're looking at, just in case, and then we'll move on to the next game, they're staring at the Charlton County and Screven County game, right? So that'll be who if they do advance, that's who they'll be looking at. That game, we won't break that down, but Screven's picked to win by 12 in that, so I would say they were the favorites.
Either one of those would be a haul.
Yeah, they're going.
I think Charlton might be at home if Charlton happened to upset. Yep. I think that may be they may be a 3 seed.
Yeah, Charlton's a 3 seed.
Yeah,
so if Charlton upsets, Mountain Zion can host.
That's right, they could. And Screven is the 1 seed. I think they were 10-0 this year.
Yep, Screven's sitting at 11-0. Charlton's sitting at 6-5. So, hey, you're listening to the Inoventive Benefits Consulting Tailgate Show under the Deep South Roofing Broadcast Tent. Inoventive Benefits Consulting in Bremen and Carrollton. The benefits consultant beyond the status quo. We are in the Carrollton City Schools regional breakdown. Carrollton City Schools character, courage, and community are what we are all about. Want to learn more? Schedule a tour. One more game that we have that's a non-broadcast game tonight. A long travel on this one. This is Villarica Wildcats headed down to Thomas County Central. Villarica, the number 3 seed from Region 5. Thomas County Central is the number 1 seed from Region 2. And Villarica, unranked, going down to a number 2 ranked Thomas County Central. No doubt a long trip, no doubt a tough trip. What's your thoughts and kind of keys to the game for Villarica on that one, Coach?
If you're Villarica, you're playing with house money now.
That's right.
So there's nothing to lose. And I say that, and I know that obviously the game is what's there out there. But nobody really had Villarica pegged to be a second-round playoff team this year. Coach Barron got there 3 years ago. Well, he got there 5 years ago as an assistant. Took over as head coach 3 years ago. First season he won 4. Then next season he won 5. Got into the playoff. Went down to Brunswick. Saw what that looked like. Now they got back into the playoff this year. They pulling off a little bit of an upset next week. We didn't think it was a huge upset because we felt like they could beat Northgate the whole time. But to the outsider looking, people thought Northgate that would be an upset. So Villarica goes over there and knocks off Northgate last week. Played probably their best game of the year. They've had their best stretch of the season. They've won the last 3 games. I really feel like they can go down there and compete. Now, Thomas County Central is a different animal. You're talking about a team that won the state 2023. Last year was a rebuild. I think they got beat in the quarterfinals. They've got over a dozen kids with Division I offers. They're a juggernaut, and they have been in the past, and they've reached that point again. I think they just opened up 122,000 square foot indoor facility, not just football, but for the whole athletic department and the band and ROTC. So they got everything going in the right direction at Thomas County Central. So shout out to them and their administration, their community for taking care of those kids and for a long time by building those facilities and raising that kind of money. But this is going to be a great experience for Billerica because I feel like they're building a program. They're in the process of trying to get this thing to that level, and it just takes time. As we talked about earlier, these championships aren't won in 1 year. They are things that are done over a period of time, and it just builds and you build and you build, and you're just trying to keep getting stronger and plugging the holes where they are and try to go a little bit further each year than you did the year before. Right. So I really think it's a good trip for Billerica to go down there, lay it on the line, let's compete, let's see what we got. Yep. Hey, early in the game, onside kick, fake punt, reverse on a kickoff return, double pass, halfback pass,
whatever you got to
whatever tricks you got to pull off something. Don't be afraid to do it. Don't leave it on the table tonight because may not be around next week. So hey, let's go ahead and let's shoot for it. Let's see what happens and go for it because Billerica has come a long way this year, and like I said, they're continuing to build. Thomas County, they're in a different category.
Yep. I'll say this, Billerica, you talked about it a little bit last week, beat Northgate 24-14, and I think if you look back, Billerica's thing all year has been an offensive identity. That they lost to Northgate week 2, 12-9. Right. So I think you can see just in that score alone,
some improvement.
There's been improvement in that offense. A game that a lot of people thought, man, this is just going to be tight. A 10-point win in the first round feels good. Emmanuel Ajayi rushed for 144 yards and a touchdown on 29 carries. Matthew Eubanks passed for 117 yards and rushed for 78. Now, if I had a key to the game, and I'm no mastermind like Coach David Thrower offensively, but I've been around football long enough to know when I compare that and then I look over at Thomas County Central. Here are these numbers from last week, Coach. Yeah. Thomas County Central beat Woodstock 73-14.
Yeah.
Reaching 70 points for the third time this season.
Yeah.
Deuce Lawrence rushed for 130 yards on 10 carries. And get this, Thomas County Central had 520 total yards on only 32 plays. So, if I'm no mastermind, but if I'm Billerica, I want Emmanuel Ajayi to have the ball in his hand as much as possible. The more that ball is in the hands of Billerica offense, the less it's in the hands of Thomas County Central offense.
Well, and I'm probably going to snap the ball with less than about 5 seconds left on the play clock.
Every time. That's right.
Because the bottom line is the more time you got it, the less time they got it.
That's
because
right.
we know they're going to score.
Yep.
You're not going to – and teams averaging 55 points a game or whatever it is.
Yep.
You're not going to shut them out.
That's right.
Okay, let's just not realistic. So let's go down there and try to bleed some clock. Let's get some first downs. Like I said, let's take your shots when we get a shot,
yep.
and let's do your thing.
Yep.
Because like I said, it's still a program that's building. Mm-hmm. You're playing when I first started coaching in the 90s, Thomas County Central was the best program in the state.
Yeah.
They won 5 state championships in a 6-year period.
Yep.
And they were dominant. They were in AAA, which was the third highest, the next to largest division. Back then we only had 4 classes.
That's right.
And they were a power. And then they kind of leveled off for a while in the 2000s. Mm-hmm. Still good, still competitive, but when Justin Rogers got there about 4 years ago, he had been at Colquitt, he'd been at Jones County. Mm-hmm. He was the offensive coordinator for Griffin when Carrollton played Griffin in the state championship. People that remember that game, he was the OC for Griffin that night. That was his last year as an offensive as an assistant. Got the Jones County coaching job the next year, turned Jones. Well, Jones was still they were a good program then, but he made Jones better.
That's right.
Took them to another level. Goes down to Colquitt. He followed Rush Probst. Mm-hmm. Not an easy gig.
Yep.
Stayed down there 3 years. He felt like he just wasn't going to be the thing for him to do. Stay there. So he moves on to Thomas County, and now they're back to where they were in the 90s. And they'll be a state contender every year as long as he's there and his staff. I've got a former player, Jay Floyd, who's a strength coach down there, and the offensive line guy. He's, matter of fact, Rich Finley's brother-in-law.
Okay.
And Jay played for us down at Troup County when Coach Finley and I were on the same staff.
That's
so
right.
Those guys, they know how to win. They've been together. Their coaching staff's been together for a while. They've kind of made those travels along with Justin. And Justin will do a good job in the matchups, personnel, and getting those pass concepts, but he still likes to run football. He still wants a physical style. Billerica's got to tackle. They got to get them on the ground. Yep. They can't give up the big plays. What's got Billerica in trouble on defense this year, and they played good defense in their front, what's got them in trouble is giving up some big plays. And they can't afford to do that tonight. Thomas County's going to complete some passes. Let's get them on the ground.
That's right.
They're going to break a run or two. Let's get them on the ground.
Big game tonight. You said it, Villarica. Cool thing for them, a long trip. If Mount Zion had to go to Early County 182 miles, Villarica's traveling 245 to Thomas County Central.
They probably went yesterday.
They went yesterday, and here's a special experience for them, and then we'll get to a break. But they actually did their walkthrough, not at a high school today. They did it at Florida State University. And that would probably be a shout-out, if I had to guess, to Mrs. Coach Austin Barron, Callie Barron at Carrollton High School softball coach. She was a national champion softball player for Florida State, and so I'm sure she had some ties there and connections.
A little alumni made a phone call.
Yeah, a little alumni made a phone call, so I saw that earlier today. They did their walkthrough at Florida State. So you talk about it, man, it's a round of 16. It's a special time. You're playing on house money. Man, Wildcats, go down there, do what you can do. Don't give up the big play if you can help it. And, man, let's see if Matthew Eubanks can hand it off to Emmanuel Ajayi a lot tonight. You're listening to the Inoventive Benefits Consulting Tailgate Show under the Deep South Roofing broadcast tent. We're going to take another break right here. When we come back, we'll continue on the Carrollton City Schools Regional Breakdown. We'll be back in just a few.
What if you could turn your healthcare expense into a competitive advantage? At Inoventive Benefits Consulting, we engineer benefit strategies that cut costs by 30 to 40% without cutting the quality your employees deserve. Put control back in your hands. Stop overpaying. Start outperforming. Let's make your healthcare plan work for you, not against you. Call 678-821-3508 today. Inoventive Benefits Consulting. Smarter benefits. Stronger bottom line.
The days are getting shorter and the temperature's dropping. But that doesn't mean your fun in the water has to end. Brown's Pools and Spas is the premier dealer of Bullfrog Spas in the metro Atlanta area. It's also a great time to start designing your new backyard living space centered around a new pool. Brown's Pools can also remodel your old pool and give it new life for years to come. Stop by one of Brown's Pools locations in Carrollton, Douglasville, Noonan, or Dallas today. Brown's Pools and Spas, your trusted pool and spa provider since 1974.
At Rainwater Funeral Home, we create honoring and healing experiences. Our staff members guide your family in creating a meaningful ceremony to honor the life and memory of a loved one, whether it be simple or elaborate, traditional or unique. No matter how it's tailored, we understand a ceremony is an important step in recovering from loss. Rainwater Funeral Home is a family business, so we understand the importance of giving each and every family we serve the level of attention they deserve. Rainwater Funeral Home on North Carroll Street in Bowden and online at rainwaterfuneralhome.com.
Leaky faucets, broken pipes. Is there anything more stressful than problems with your plumbing? When your plumbing drains you, call the best, Addison Smith. The licensed professionals at Addison Smith Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing are available 24 hours a day to service your toilet, water heater, sump pump, faucet, clogged drains, and any other issues you might have. Don't flush money down the drain. Call locally owned and operated Addison Smith, 770-832-9006. Online at addisonsmith.net. Addison Smith, giving you more since 1954.
Now, let's get back to the Tailgate Show with our broadcast crew
under the Deep South Roofing Company broadcast tent.
All right, welcome back to the Inoventive Benefits Consulting Tailgate Show under the Deep South Roofing broadcast tent. Brought to you by Inoventive Benefits Consulting in Bremen and Carrollton. The benefits consultants beyond the status quo. Also sponsored tonight by Addison Smith Mechanical Contractor, Amy Brown State Farm, Brown's Pools and Spas, John Thornton Cadillac Buick GMC Pert Disposal Services, Rainwater Funeral Home, and Evergreen Tree Services. We are continuing on the road to break down the Carrollton City Schools Regional Breakdown. Carrollton City Schools, we expect excellence in every person, in every program, in every performance. We go for gold. So, Coach, now we're going to move to the game that you can hear tonight on King Country 93.7 or 101.9. Tex and Hayden Coker will be bringing this one to you. This is Social Circle at Heard County. Social Circle sitting at 7-4 on the year. Heard County obviously sitting at 11-0. Social Circle is number 17, so where we're different in this is we got the power ranking, so we kind of get a little more gauge of where these teams are at. Social Circle's the number 17 seed in that Division 1 Heard County is the number 1 seed, and so Heard County's in a different boat than everybody else, where they get to host all the way through until Mercedes-Benz. They don't have to worry about coin flips or anything like that. So last week, Social Circle, you said it off air, Social Circle had their big game last week. That was a tight one, 16-seeded Haralson County versus 17-seeded Social Circle. They won that game 34-33, and a heartbreak for our Rebels at Haralson County. Coach Crutchfield decided to go for 2. I saw his post-game interview. That was what his players wanted him to do. They felt good about it, and it just didn't work out. And Social Circle covered the onside kick, and, man, just a tough way to go out. So Remy Farmer passed for 179 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's their quarterback. And last week, Heard County, we kind of knew this. That they were going to have an easy road. They won 49-0 last week. Ethan Tisdale was 15 of 20 passing for 259 yards on 2 touchdowns. Also rushed for 59 yards and 2 touchdowns. Brody Buck Cofield had 7 receptions for 135 yards and a touchdown. So we kind of know what we got tonight. Heard County, Social Circle's coming to town. Tell me a little bit about that game, Coach.
Well, I think Social Circle will be a big step up in competition from East Lawrence, but I don't think that Social Circle's got enough bullets in the gun to go down and beat Heard down in Franklin. As much as we'd like to see a Heard Haralson rematch, it didn't work out. And shout out to Coach Crutchfield for going for 2, because I like that fact. And he probably had a 2-point play he really liked, or maybe he felt like his defense couldn't stop him again, or for whatever reason. But to make that call, hey, takes a little bit of something there, Coach, to do that. And I'm with you, brother. I admire that. But going back to this game tonight, Social Circle has not got a lot of history in football.
That's right.
But the last 5 or 6 years, they've improved that program to where they've been a playoff team. They've won a playoff game or 2. They've got some stability there at Social Circle, but they're not on the level of Heard County. Heard's deep. They're well coached. They got a lot of support. They're good on both sides of the ball. They got a good kicking game. They're a 9-3 team last year. They know how to win. They got a bunch of those kids back. They're sitting there 11-0. They're playing with confidence. Unless Heard goes out there and just completely stubs their toe, I don't think this game is going to be that close. I think it'll be closer maybe than last week, but keep in mind, I think it was 49-0 was the final, but if I'm not mistaken, it may have been 49-0 at halftime.
It was, yeah.
So it probably could have been 90-0.
Yeah.
But Shane Laster's a good human
He's
being.
a good dude.
He didn't embarrass anybody.
That's right.
He took it easy on these guys from East Lawrence. Tonight, he's probably going to want his starters to play a little longer, which means they may result in a few more points on the board as the game moves on. So I don't know if it'll be 49 at halftime. I'm not saying that.
Right.
I don't think Social Circle's going to go out there and roll over and play dead.
That's right.
But at the same time, I think Heard will get that lead early. They'll build on it. They'll gradually pull away. Social Circle's got an uphill battle. They know it. I mean, those coaches are watching film. They know how good Heard is.
Yep.
Haralson played Heard really tough.
That's right.
But Haralson's a lot more familiar with Heard. They've played them before. They know their kids. They know their schemes. They know when Heard gets in this formation, they kind of like do this right here. They know a lot of times how to play each other in those situations. Team like Social Circle, they coming in. They got film on Heard, obviously, but still they've got 4 days to prepare, 5 days to prepare, where Haralson's known them from the past. Just, I just don't see this game going down the wire. I think it's going to be Heard County by 3 touchdowns or more.
Yeah, and I think, as you said, I think it's almost important that this thing is at least a 3-quarter game, right?
I
mean, you want to get your guys in.
You got to play.
Because next week you're looking at either Fitzgerald or Dublin next week.
That's going to be a 48-minute game.
Right. And
for
so
sure.
You want to, I think there's 2 goals tonight. One, you want to handle business. You don't want to make the mistakes. You want to play good, crisp football. But you almost want it to go into 3 quarters and just kind of be comfortable and that, your guys are playing all 4 quarters, because next week is going to be a 4-quarter game. Now, you get to host them in Staples Stadium, which is a beautiful thing.
Ain't no doubt.
That feels good knowing that's going to be the case. But I think tonight you want to stay healthy, but you also want to keep your guys in there a little bit longer just so they're in a better
place. You got to work to win.
That's right.
And in order for them to win game 13 and 14, they need tonight's game to push them a little bit.
Yep, that's right.
I mean, and I think Social Circle can do that.
They will.
I think Social Circle's going to come out and compete. They're going to come out and play. Like I said, the last 5 or 6 years, their program has gradually gotten better. Historically, not a lot of success, but I also remember when Heard County back in the day didn't have a lot of success.
That's
right. So they were building their program in the same fashion. So Social Circle's coming over this part of the state for the second week in a row. Good luck to you. but I think the Braves are in good shape
That's
tonight.
right. They played one time before in 2002. Heard County won that game 34-14, and so that's the only game they've ever played.
Was that a playoff game?
That was a playoff game, first round.
I bet that was Timbo's first year.
Yep, Heard County 2002 first round. So, yeah. So they played that. Obviously Heard's had more success. Social Circle's 0-2 all-time in the round of 16, so just not a lot of history there, as you said. And then this is Heard County's second straight year in this round. And, and then 4-10 all-time in the round of 16. So just a little bit, Social Circle, average score 34-22 against the 31st hardest schedule in Class A Division I. Heard County average score 41-12 against the 34th hardest schedule. So the guys know how to put up points. They know how to keep guys from scoring points. So I say go Braves, and let's see what happens. I think you're going to be watching that Fitzgerald and Dublin game. Here's what you're not worried. I don't think you're going to face a Fitzgerald of Dublin. I think both of those teams are a little down in their standards of Fitzgerald and Dublin, but still, nevertheless, you're going to have to play one of those two programs.
Yeah, because by game 13,
you've worked out the kinks.
Dublin lost their quarterback early in the year.
That's right.
Like maybe game 1 or something like that. So they've had 12 weeks to get the backup ready.
That's right.
So he's going to be – it ain't like you lost your number one quarterback last week.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll be clicking. The only thing is I don't think Dublin's going to throw it much.
That's right.
Fitzgerald's built similarly to Dublin. They're a wing T team too. But they got a new coach his first year in there, and they struggled a little bit at the middle of the season. Now they come on late. But it's not the best Fitzgerald team they've ever had, nor is it probably the best Dublin team they've ever had. But with that being said, when they put on their helmet and their shoulder pads,
they're ready to play.
They feel like they're going to win.
It's going to be fun next week.
And they take a lot of pride in the fact, Dublin's a Middle Georgia school.
Yep.
Fitzgerald's a South Georgia school. They take a lot of pride in that regional pride. Like, we're coming up to play these guys from North Georgia.
Yep.
We play better football than they do. That's their mindset. Heard's just the opposite. They're like, hey, buddy, you're going to come out and prove it. You got to come out and show it to us. We've been there, too.
Right.
So that's what makes these playoff matchups kind of fun, too.
It's going to be fun. Tonight's going to be a good game in Staples Stadium, Franklin, Georgia, no doubt. The only thing Coach Shane Lassiter worried about right now is going 1-0 this week, and I know his boys will be focused on that. So
Paul Fitzsimmons got to sell some tickets.
Yeah, Paul's got to sell some tickets.
Georgia High School got to get their cut, too, buddy.
That's right. Social Circle at Heard County. You can hear that on King Country 93.7, 101.9. Let's go to a real quick break, pay some bills, and when we come back, we'll break down Washington Wilkes at Bowden and Harrison at Carrollton, and we'll finish that last segment off with what's going on right here behind us. You're listening to the Inoventive Benefits Consulting Tailgate Show under the Deep South Roofing broadcast tent. We will catch you in just a few.
Employee benefits shouldn't crush your bottom line. That's why it helps to have a local partner who really knows our community and your business. At Inoventive Benefits Consulting, we help local companies save on their healthcare spend. Marcy Heath, your neighbor and local benefits consultant, will make sure your employee benefits work for you, not against you. Call 678-821-3508. Rethink employee healthcare with Inoventive Benefits Consulting. Local solutions, proven savings.
When you need the job done right, trust your neighbors at Burt Disposal Services. Burt Disposal has been providing West Georgia homes and businesses with roll-off containers since 1996. Their team is professional, dependable, and can be on site with a 10, 20, 30, or 40-yard roll-off container for your next commercial or residential project. Construction debris, yard waste, don't get hurt, call Burt. To learn more, call 770-826-6789. Online at PurtDisposal.com.
Evergreen Tree Service and the Barn Store are teaming up once again to spread warmth this winter by distributing new coats to children 16 and under, sizes 2T to 3XL in limited quantities. Parents or guardians, to qualify for a free coat, bring your child or child's birth certificate, plus proof of government assistance such as free or reduced lunch, SNAP, WIC, or Medicaid. Join us at the Carroll County Rec Department on Noonan Road this Saturday from 8 a.m. till 1 p.m. Because every child should feel warm, cared for, and loved this winter.
Are you tired of these out-of-town roofers knocking at your door? Are you tired of seeing their cheap signs on every corner? These companies have sold their souls to the big private equity companies and are not here to help you with your roof. They just want your money. Stay local with West Georgia and East Alabama's most trusted roofing company, Deep South Roofing Company. Whether your job is commercial or residential, put your faith in a company that invests in your local community. For more, visit DeepSouthRoofingCompany.com.
Let's get back to the Inoventive Benefits Consulting Tailgate Show.
Welcome back. Here we are. We're moving right through the Carrollton City Schools regional breakdown. You're listening to Jay Webb and the coach, David Thrower. along with Swole Joel running the board back here. Andrew back at the station, man. We are getting through this thing. We're going to go right on into this breakdown. We're going to be talking about Washington Wilkes at Bowden right now, Coach. You can hear that game on B92 Country with Britt Martin and Doc Phillips. Those guys will be they do an awesome job in their play-by-play and color.
All of our crews do.
Yeah, man.
Everybody we got, man, these guys are top-notch.
That's right.
I think Brett, being a Bowden graduate,
he loves it.
He brings a little juice.
Yeah,
he's got a little juice going,
That's
man.
Right.
You can almost feel his energy through the radio.
That's right.
All of our crews, man, are awesome.
Yeah,
Shout out to them guys, man. I love to listen to Seth Kane, man. He's smooth as glass.
That's right.
Text is sharp, man. I like him. Then you got the Carrollton crew, man. You got to love him guys.
That's
man.
right.
Larry Evans is like the research guru.
I mean, he's got it.
You got Kate Perry back, and then Matt Skinner's always there ready. He's in the on-deck circle.
He's always,
whenever you need him, he's there.
Always ready. Well, we're talking Washington Wilkes, who's sitting at 5-6. Going against Bowden at 9-2. Washington Wilkes, a number 3 seed from Region 8, so man, got an upset win last week. But they're facing the number 1 seed from Region 7. Bowden's sitting at rank number 3 right now in Class A Division 2. Washington Wilkes, beat Seminole County last week, 32-23. Behind a freshman quarterback, Mason Mingle. That's a great name. Mason Mingle. That's easy to call out on the PA system. He went 20 for 36 for 263 yards and 3 touchdowns and rushed for 65 yards and a touchdown. So, man, he's their bell cow, it sounds like. And, also throwing it to Sharik Meadows, who had 9 receptions for 164 yards and a touchdown. So, they're coming in. Obviously, they got some points. They're behind a freshman quarterback who I'm sure has got nothing but better as the year's gone on. He's not a freshman anymore. When you get to game 12, you're no longer a freshman.
You've been in the fire.
You've been in the fire, and if you're putting up 263 yards and 3 touchdowns in game 12, something's going right for you. However, they got to play the Bowden Red Devils tonight. Bowden last week beat Wilcox County 42-7. Joshua Hopkins threw for 208 yards on 4 touchdowns, and 2 of those were who we talked about earlier. One of the 3 AJC Super 11 guys who's playing inside Carroll County tonight, Mr. Caden Prothrow. These 2 teams have actually got a little bit of a history. Washington Wilkes won 34-17 in the 2020 second round. And they actually lead the series between the 2 schools 3-2. This is their first second-round appearance since 2022, and they're trying to reach the quarterfinals for the first time since 2020. But we know who Bowden is. We know what they're looking. How about this? Bowden, 12-10 all-time in the round of 16, and obviously we know this very well, chasing down that elusive and hard to get 4th state championship in a row. So, Coach, what's your thoughts tonight on this game?
Well, I sat here last week and I kept thinking to myself, and I said, I think Wilcox County's got enough bullets to make Bowden play and be competitive and make them really work for it. I fully expected Bowden to win by 3 touchdowns or more, but I really felt like that would be a close game. Well, that was 42-9 at halftime.
Yeah.
And Washington Wilkes, they've lost 6 times this year. And their region, which is traditionally a good region, now Lincoln County's far and away better than anybody in that league right now. They're still very good. But Greene was down this year. Wilkes was down this year. Warren County is just so-and-so. They're so-so. They're not the best Warren County team. I'll be honest with you, I think this game's going to get out of hand early. I don't think Wilkes has got the bullets in the gun. They've got a history at Wilkes. They had a great run in the 80s and 90s, and Butch Brooks was a legendary coach, and Frank Bohan followed him for a couple years and played for a state championship, local name that people know. And then they still had good years. Sid Fritz just a few years ago had some good teams. Robbie Robinson before that had won some region championships. So Wilkes got a history. They know what football's like over there. But this edition of Wilkes has been beat 6 times, including they've been hammered about 4 times already. And Bowden's going to be the best team they've played all year. So I just don't see this game being competitive.
4-6, Washington Wilkes in the regular season. And I think this will show you a little bit about Class A Division II ball. I'm looking this. Bowden's looking at the Jenkins County, Schley County game. Both of those teams are sitting at 7-4 and are both number 3 seeds. So you're seeing a lot of number 3 seeds into the round. I know of at least 3 number 3 seeds in the round of 16. So that kind of shows you probably that middle of the pack down in Class A Division II it's kind of a toss-up. I think you got a few schools in the Lincoln counties and the
Sly
Bowdens.
was a tiebreaker deal.
Yeah,
they were actually all tied for first.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll talk about that with Sly and Jenkins next week. But I wouldn't. I expect Jenkins to beat Sly.
Okay.
I really do. I think Jenkins will beat Sly. From what I've heard and seen of Sly, they're not the Sly County that Bowden played for the championship. Was it 22?
Yep.
And then they turned around and played them again, I think, in the semis at 23.
That's right.
If I'm not mistaken. So that's not the same Sly County team you've seen at Bowden in the past few years. But anyhow, we'll talk about that next week.
Well,
go ahead.
Well, just in case you know, Maxwell Ratings has got Jenkins County predicted to win by 4. Not that we care too much about that, but to show you a little bit about the game we're talking about, Maxwell's got Bowden predicted by 34. So they're feeling the same way we are a little bit,
and that's probably generous.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're yelling, "Go Red Devils tonight!" Bowden, man, they're on a run. Let's see what Joshua Hopkins and that offense does. Bradley Perkins and that defense, man, they've been solid all year long. And so I expect, as you said, Bowden to get out early tonight. And, again, you want to start to get to a place where, you don't want to be 49. You want to be 49-0 at halftime, but you also want to get your starters in. But Coach Finley has played the game 15 the last 3 years in a row, so he knows how to manage this thing well.
They do.
No
doubt.
That is the Carrollton City Schools regional breakdown of Washington Wilkes at Bowden. Again, you can hear that on B92 Country. You're listening to the Inoventive Benefits Consulting Tailgate Show under the Deep South Roofing broadcast tent. We're going to keep on moving here to the Carrollton City Schools regional breakdown, perhaps a little bit more of a contest as we move just across town over here. Cambridge Bears coming in 9-2. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's not it. It's the Harrison Hoyas coming in to Carrollton. Harrison is sitting at, let me see right here.
10-1.
10-1 versus 11-0. This is 6A ball, right? I mean, you got some guys. Harrison's the number 2 seed from Region 3. Carrollton's the number 1 seed from Region 2. This is one of the top 10 matchups in the state this week where you've got Harrison ranked number 10. Carrollton is ranked number 3. Harrison beat Marietta last week. That was one of those games that was just across town. They beat them 45-35. The GHSA, Georgia High School Football Daily Player of the Week was Aiden Watson, who was 17 of 23 passing for 194 yards and 180 yards rushing. Is what he had. So with 6 touchdowns. So that's their quarterback over at Harrison. I believe he's a sophomore, if I'm not mistaken.
Sophomore, what I'm told.
They've I don't know if you know this, but Harrison's turned out a quarterback or two in the past. There's a little guy in the NFL right now named Justin Fields who actually has never seen some of the numbers that he did not see the numbers at Harrison that Aiden Watson's sitting right now. So Carrollton's got to find a way to win that. I have no doubt they'll be ready. I don't know that they've played a defense that has the corners in the secondary like Carrollton has. I know Marietta didn't have that, but we'll see. Still going to be a game. Carrollton beat North Forsyth last week, 58-17. Cam Wood rushed for 133 yards on 2 touchdowns, only 6 carries. Ryan Mosley had 5 receptions for 112 yards. And the quarterbacks combined, Holtzclaw and Cipher, passed for 267 yards. So this is going to be a game tonight, Coach. What are you looking forward to in the Carrollton Trojans versus the Harrison Hoyas tonight?
Well, I fully respect Harrison, and they've had a good program for a long time. Offensively, they're good. They're really good. They could present you problems. They're good enough to make you really have to take care of your business, to be gap sound, alignment and assignment. Everything's got to be on point, Carrollton defensively. The quarterback for Harrison is dynamic. Scheme-wise, they do a great job. The Harrison OC is Trent Thompson, who was at Central with Coach Brown in 2023 when he went 12-1. So he's at Harrison now. Great young coach. He's probably destined to be a head coach eventually. Just a sharp guy. They got a lot of respect for what he does. And Harrison is a solid team. They're 10-1. They're ranked 10th in the state. They play good football. Carrollton, on the other hand, is just a different animal.
That's right.
And I don't know. To me, the question is this. Can Harrison's defense get some stops? Because Carrollton is so dynamic. They've got multiple guys that can hurt you in the run game and in the pass game. Obviously, a team with 2 quarterbacks to begin with. We've been saying that all year, that you got a game plan basically for 2 different guys. Running backs, receivers, they got a good offensive line. They are as good as Carrollton is in the past. They may be better this year. And we talked about that, and it sounds crazy when you lost one of the top players in the country as your quarterback, and you come back the next year and you may be better. And the point is that Carrollton's maybe on another level.
That's right.
Harrison's good. I expect him to compete. I think they'll play hard for 48 minutes. The Harrison head coach, he was a Hillgrove guy for years. He goes to Osborne a few years ago and won a bunch of games there. Like his second year went like 8-3. Nobody's won games with Osborne. Nobody. Osborne hadn't won 8 games since Hitler was a corporal. Yep. I mean, it's been that long since Osborne had success on the football field. I mean, Moby Dick was a minnow. You know what I'm saying? But this guy comes in and wins 8 games. He's doing something right. Now he's at Harrison, and he's got Harrison rolling. So, hey, they got a good thing going to Harrison, but still ain't Carrollton.
It ain't Carrollton.
It ain't Carrollton.
Yep.
Carrollton's a different bird, man.
Hey, just whoever does the cuts and the outtakes and all this of we just at some time at the end of the year we need to have a Coach David thrower outtakes.
Man,
we need bullets in the gun. Moby Dick was a minnow. Hitler was a corporal. I mean, the one-liners are everywhere. But at the end of the day, here's what I believe about this thing, and we'll get to another break. But Carrollton's. You say it often, bullets in the gun. Carrollton's got a whole lot of bullets in the gun, offensively and defensively. I personally believe that Buford, Grayson, and Carrollton are the top 3 teams in 6A. The numbers have showed it all year. Not to mean that they don't have to go out there and play. They got to go out there and play. You got to go earn it. Joey King's going to have them ready to do that. But Maxwell's probably feeling a little bit like we are. They got Carrollton predicted to win by 25. And here's the crazy thing about Carrollton. Carrollton, 11th straight second-round appearance, and they have reached the quarterfinals each of the past 9 seasons. They've been in the Elite 8 for 9 years in a row, and so they just know how to win. 24-8 all-time in the round of 16. And as you said, what you would think would be after you lose a guy like Juju. Man, Cypher and Holzclaw is just, to me, taking it up another level.
You mentioned the Georgia High School Daily, and I like to read it too. They had a trivia, I think it was today, trivia question. Which 2 coaches left in the playoffs had beaten Buford twice in the playoffs? Mm-hmm. Well, one of them's Joey King.
Yep.
Joey King beat him last year at Carrollton in the semis, and he beat him at Cartersville for the title back about 15 or 16, whatever year.
Well,
I know Joey went back-to-back, or Cartersville went back-to-back.
Yeah.
Joey's not going to claim him by himself because he's not that kind of guy.
That's right.
Cartersville went back-to-back. Joey was the head coach, and I know they beat. I think it was 15 they beat Buford.
Well, here's what you're looking at if you're Carrollton Trojans. Obviously, tonight you're looking at Harrison Hoyas. You got to go 1-0 tonight. But you also are looking at Colquitt County Packers are making the trip. Coach Sean Calhoun, who Carrollton's very familiar with, is bringing his guys up to the number 1 ranked team in the country, my friend. Grayson, they came out today. I saw that right up where I think now in 3 different polls they are the number 1 team in the country. So that's going to be a tough battle. But, hey, if Carrollton, man, you got to win tonight, but then congratulations, you're probably going to be looking ahead to Grayson. But, hey, I do not believe there's a team in the state that has a better chance of beating them than the Carrollton Trojans. So let's see what happens.
Bottom line is this, and like I said, you got to take care of business tonight. We know that. But the bottom line is this: you got to play them sooner or later.
That's right.
So
you got to beat them.
Quarterfinal, semifinal, final, whatever it is, you're going to match up. If you're a 1 seed and they're a 1 seed, you can play them in any one of those 3 rounds. Mm-hmm. So, hey, go get them.
Let's go.
Let's take care of business tonight.
If you
see what happens.
If you want to listen to that game, you can listen to the Carrollton crew, Cade Perrion and Larry Evans on KISS 102.7. You're listening to the Carrollton City School Regional Breakdown. Carrollton City Schools, character, courage, and community are what we're all about. Want to learn more? Schedule a tour. You're also listening to the Inoventive Benefits Consulting Tailgate Show under the Deep South Roofing broadcast tent. When we come back, we're going to break down the last game of the night, the one that's going to happen right behind us. So we will catch you in just a few.
What if you could turn your healthcare expense into a competitive advantage? At Inoventive Benefits Consulting, we engineer benefit strategies that cut costs by 30 to 40% without cutting the quality your employees deserve. Put control back in your hands. Stop overpaying. Start outperforming. Let's make your healthcare plan work for you, not against you. Call 678-821-3508 today. Inoventive Benefits Consulting. Smarter benefits. Stronger bottom line.
Feast your eyes on the season's most aggressive offers during the Feast of Savings at John Thornton Buick GMC. Gobble up a new GMC Sierra 2500 HD Denali with $12,000 off MSRP, or a new Buick Envision, $6,000 off MSRP. Take $4,000 off MSRP on the new Buick Envista, or a new GMC Yukon XL with $8,000 off MSRP at John Thornton Buick GMC in Carrollton. GMC, we are professional grade.
Look at you, having it together. You've got a car.
I love driving my car.
You have a house.
Going in my house.
Now get your car and house insured together with State Farm agent Amy Brown. She and her staff can help you customize your coverage and save when you bundle your home and auto insurance. Contact State Farm agent Amy Brown at 678-840-5000 to bundle and save today.
Prices may vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability, amount of discounts, savings, and eligibility may vary.
The days are getting shorter and the temperature's dropping, but that doesn't mean your fun in the water has to end. Brown's Pools and Spas is the premier dealer of bullfrog spas in the metro Atlanta area. It's also a great time to start designing your new backyard living space centered around a new pool. Brown's Pools can also remodel your old pool and give it new life for years to come. Stop by one of Brown's Pools locations in Carrollton, Douglasville, Noonan, or Dallas today. Brown's Pools and Spas, your trusted pool and spa provider since 1974.
Now, let's get back to the Tailgate Show with our broadcast crew under the Deep South Roofing Company broadcast tent.
All right, welcome back to the Inoventive Benefits Consulting Tailgate Show under the Deep South Roofing broadcast tent. Brought to you by Inoventive Benefits Consulting in Bremen and Carrollton, the benefits consultant beyond the status quo. Also brought to you by Addison Smith Mechanical Contractor, Amy Brown State Farm, Brown's Pools and Spas, John Thornton Cadillac Buick GMC, Pert Disposal Services, Rainwater Funeral Homes, and Evergreen Tree Services. We are in our last Carrollton City Schools regional breakdown for the evening. Just real quick, right behind us, you're about to see the Cambridge Bears at Central of Carrollton Lions. A big deal here at Central is the Central marching band, the Pride. Some of their ladies just came by here. They're having a Central Carroll High School Color Guard Breakfast with Santa on December 6th, 9 to 12 at Rouville Road. You can check them out on Facebook and see Central Carolina Pride Band and check out that event. But right now, let's talk about football. Cambridge is the number 2 seed from Region 6. Central is the number 1 seed from Region 8. Another top 10 matchup in the state. Cambridge is ranked number 8. Central is ranked number 7. That's a pretty close matchup. Just real quick, looking to last week, Cambridge beat Ola 24-21, so they faced a tough matchup in round 1. And Central obviously takes care of Tucker 33-21, but it was a little scary at times. And again, tonight we've made mention of it a couple times. You're going to have 2 of the 7 guys that are left from the AJC Super 11 playing on this field behind us in Jonas Walton from Central and Craig Dandridge from Cambridge High School. So we kind of know what we got here. We got 2 great programs. We look back to last week. Central got off to a slow start, trailing 21-20 entering the fourth quarter. But, man, the guys, the offense, the defense stepped it up. Just, man, you talk about bullets in the gun here. I just want to read these numbers real quick. We talk about Jonas Walton a lot, as we should. The Notre Dame commit, an incredible kid, a guy that has helped be a part of this program building here. However, when I look at the numbers last week, J.R. Harris passed for 193 yards. Jace Walton rushed for 120 yards. Jonas Walton rushed for 104 yards. And Jake Ivester had 101 yards receiving. So this is not just the Jonas Walton show. They got bullets in the gun.
And that's what makes Jonas better, is because they can spread the wealth. They're not having to run him 35 times a game and just try to grind it out with him. They've got other guys.
Yep.
Their quarterback has been efficient. I mean, I don't know what his quarterback interception ratio is now. It was like 20-1
yeah, it's
a
pretty
couple
good.
weeks ago. It was something astronomical. So they take care of the football at Central. They know how to get their guys the ball in space. They're good up front. Still played good defense all year. Central's got a great group thing going. They got a good football team, and this crowd we playing tonight, they're pretty doggone good too.
Yeah.
So Cambridge is going to be the toughest matchup for all of our 1 seeds.
Yep.
I believe. You know, if we take Herd, Bowden, Carrollton, Central, that's the 4 teams we said all along that we feel like as a group had a chance to make a deep run, and I really feel like Central's got the toughest task tonight.
Right.
Not that anybody else doesn't, but this is going to be about. And you remember, Cambridge came up here last year and took it to Central. Central was a region champion on this same field.
Yep.
But here's a good thing: Central ain't forgot that.
That's right.
I mean, Coach Brown is probably, you don't usually use revenge as a motivator a lot of times, or you say you don't, but the kids know, and they've been reminded of that.
That's right.
They know that. So these kids that are playing for Central now, they were all around here last year. They're not. They're kids that have been in this program 3 and 4 years, and they remember who beat them because you ain't been beat much.
That's right.
They lost a lot of games,
No,
so you
that's
remember
right.
the ones you do lose.
Yep.
They stick with you longer than the ones you win. So I feel like Cambridge is going to come up here tonight with a really good football team. All 4 teams in their region advanced last year. Cambridge, Blake Morgan, Central grad, is at Cambridge on the staff. Was at Bowden last 3 years, coaching offensive lines, co-offensive coordinator Bowden. He's at Cambridge now. Cambridge is going to be well coached. I think their head coach was at Walton a couple years ago when Walton had those good teams. He was OC at Walton. So they're going to come up here. They're going to expect to win.
Yep.
And they're a playoff proven team too.
Yep.
They've been in the playoffs the last several years. So that program's got nothing but better. School's not very old.
No.
I don't think Cambridge maybe 15 years old.
Yeah, they're
maybe.
not very old. And just in case you want to know what Coach DT is talking about, Cambridge came up here last year, won 41-22 in that second round, made it to the quarterfinals. As you said, you don't use revenge a lot, but you remember that because not only you kind of got beat off the field last year.
Yeah,
so,
41-22 is not what you want.
Yeah, that's not what you want. So you want a chance to redeem yourselves in there. And again, man, we've talked about it all year long. 4A football, you got to beat all of them if you're going to win game 15.
That's
so
right.
It's not going to get any easier for the Central Lions, but man, I also feel like the coaching staff, the kids, they're up for the task. They know what they got to do, and
That's
I believe
right.
they want to do it. And so I think you're going to see a really, really good football game behind us. Central is, man, they're just wanting to make that next step. We've talked about it. This senior class has won 40 games. They know how to win, but they want to get to that Elite Eight, to that Final Four, and get to some places. And they got way too good of a team, way too good of a program for them to feel like they should be exiting in the Sweet 16. And so
playing football over Thanksgiving special.
That's
in high school, and you want to be there the Friday after Thanksgiving playing again.
Yep.
And whether you're on the road or where you're playing at home, it doesn't really matter at that point.
And I said this earlier, so let me correct myself. The seniors, this could be their last game on this field. They obviously have already lost the coin flip for next round. And so if they win tonight, they will have to travel to if Benedictine wins, they will have to travel to Benedictine next week down around Savannah. However, if Cass wins, Cass will have to come here.
Cass has got a good football team.
Yep. And if they beat Benedictine next week, then they could see a coin flip there and possibly be back here for the 4th round. So, but tonight, these seniors, knowing it could be their last game on this field, what they want to do is they want to win tonight. They want to take care of the Cambridge Bears. Cambridge average score is 36-20 against the 18th hardest schedule in Class 4A. Central's average score is 45-14 against the 39th hardest schedule in 4A. And so you look at that, Cambridge may have a slight advantage just in the strength of schedule that they've played. And we've talked about that all year long with Central. You know, outside of Oxford in Jonesboro, there just wasn't a whole lot of tight games until last week, and Tucker certainly played them tough. So I think it's good that they got that tough matchup out of the way.
Cambridge only got 5 teams in that region.
That's right.
So they had to go find 6 games.
Yep.
So you can't avoid good teams. If you're playing 6 non-region games, you got to play some pretty good folks before you even get to the region, and that's what Cambridge, I'm sure they wanted.
Yep.
They wanted to be tested going into it. So I really feel like, you know, you asked me earlier which game I look forward to the most. If I was picking one of these 6 games as game of the week, this would be the one because I think it's got a chance to go right down to the wire.
Yep. And I think if you're Central, you know you can score on offense. You know the weapons you got. I talked to Coach Kelby Watts this morning, defensive coordinator here, and man, you know
he's a good one too.
He's a good one. He's a great one.
Good in that weight room too.
Yeah, great one as a matter of fact. Great friend, great guy. But, you know, he's a defensive guy, and he's sitting here. It's so important tonight for that defense just to find a way to stop these guys. You're not going to be able to defend a Craig Dandridge, who's a Super 11 wide receiver. You don't have that corner here, and so you're going to have to do it by committee. You're going to have some brackets over the top, some safety help, and so I know he's got a game plan together, hopefully, to stop these guys.
And you're not going to win this game 10-7 either.
No,
it's going to be some points on both sides. So
Yep.
You just got to make sure you got to get some stops. Hopefully, get a couple turnovers. Hopefully, offense can run the ball enough to keep their offense off the field, but not limit yourself if you're Central to just run it, because you do got players in the pass game too. So, like I said, I think this has got the chance to be the best game of the night.
I think so, and it's exciting. It's exciting to see this. I'm excited about some great football. If you're tuning in tonight, let me just give you a rundown real fast of the games that we've got on tap, because we are getting ready to wind down here. You're listening to the Inoventive Benefits Consulting Tailgate Show under the Deep South Roofing broadcast tent. You have just heard the Carrollton City Schools regional breakdown. As we started the top of the show, we still got 6 schools playing from our area in the Sweet 16, which is absolutely incredible. Carroll County alone, per capita, has the most schools in the state. I'm just making that up, but with our population having 5 schools,
yes,
we're the 5th best county in the state, only behind Fulton, Gwinnett, Cobb, and DeKalb. And they got a whole lot more people than we got. So we got something to be proud of here in West Georgia.
People in Cobb and Gwinnett, just a million people themselves.
So we've got a ton. And so, man, here we are, Sweet 16. We still got a full coverage of games on all of our radio stations tonight. So if you're on the road, you can't watch it on Facebook. That's a GHSA thing. So there's no live streams tonight, but you can tune in on the radio. And for that,
you can hear our voice.
That's right.
Then you got time to get to one of these games.
A to the man.
And there's 4 of them right here in our neck of the woods.
Right here in our
backyard.
And
we're talking, we got Bowden, we got Central, we got Carrollton, and we got Hurd. And all 4 of them are hosting. You need to get out and watch a high school football game. It looks like the weather's going to hold up. Going to be a good night. It's cool, but it's not cold. There's no wind. So hopefully if the rain holds off, we're going to have a great night of football through this area.
So, here's what we got tonight. Here's the rundown. We have Mount Zion at Early County and Villa Rica at Thomas Central. Those are our 2 non-broadcast games tonight, as those guys are on the road on pretty big, long road trips. But then Harrison at Carrollton, you can hear on KISS 102.7. Washington Wilkes at Bowden, you can hear on B92 Country. Cambridge at Central on Great Classics 98.9. And Social Circle at Hurd County on King Country 93.7. That is the rundown for tonight. I hope that we have 6 wins coming out of tonight, but we're going to see. There's going to be a lot to break down. Tune in for the Red Zone Report tonight after all the games are over. Myself, Coach DT, Mike Parrish will be joining us from Miami. That guy's dedicated.
Mike Parrish, he's coming from all corners, baby.
Man, last week he joined us from Jacksonville State Basketball Coliseum. Tonight he's joining us from a hotel in Miami as Jacksonville State plays Florida International tomorrow. So make sure you tune in to the Red Zone Show.
You know the real MO. We said it last week. He's heard you host this thing for the last 2 weeks. Mike Parrish don't want to get held out. He don't want to get left out of the phone now. He's got to slide back in here. Don't. Everybody's going to forget about Mike Parrish. We're talking about this guy right over here to my right.
Never.
Jay Webb, silky smooth voice, baby.
Hey, thank you so much for listening to the Inoventive Benefits Consulting Tailgate Show under the Deep South Roofing broadcast tent. Stay tuned right here as you get a chance to hear from all 6 coaches that are still in the playoffs tonight in the Coaches Clinic. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.